Today we're going to continue project 2, our shaving cream ad. And this is about how far you should be on your project. We did our cream study, and here I've transferred it with the tracing paper, and I already have it set, black and white design. Now I'm working on the can. Okay, you should have that already traced, the basic outline, and then you should already have indicated the label and the stripes on the can. Remember, I talked about these formed shadows on the can. Each layer, you can see how the light cuts across the very top surface of each cylinder here. There's 3 cylinders stacked. And when it does, it cuts back in this triangular fashion. And then we come down the curve of the spray part of the can and form that. And then we cut back again on the top surface. There's a couple of turnings on that top surface. So I cut back some light, bring the dark, cut back again in the light, and bring the dark forward. And then this is my form shadow on the can. Now the can is navy blue, so it's hard to indicate that form shadow, but it's going to follow basically a line. You can see where all these shadows sort of align, and just follow that line down, okay? We're not going to make the whole label black, all right? So today I want to talk about the actual lettering on the label, okay? Now if you remember, I created guidelines for my label section. All right, I'm just going to make that a little darker so you can see. And my label is basically falling within that guideline. And I created some curves that follow the curve of the can. All right. Now remember, when we did ellipses in drawing 2, the curves get greater as they go down below the eye level. Okay. I'm looking down on this can already. So I do see a large portion of the top, and the curve just increases ever so slightly as it reaches the bottom. Okay, so I have lightly indicated my Barbasol here. And remember, it's foreshortened. I can only see the BARB from my view, and the rest is curving around the can. So when you have letters like that, the letter that is closest to you appears to be almost full on, right? And then every letter, as it turns away, those letters start to get closer and more compressed. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But I am not looking for you to just copy the label. What I want you to do is give me an impression of the label and to make an interesting design. So if I don't see all the letters, great, that's fine. All right, I just want an indication of the design. So I'm going to use a micron for this, the micron 05. And I'm looking at my label. And the micron's pretty small, so you're probably going to have to go back and forth to make this distinguished. All right, I'm looking at my shield. The shield part is really interesting, and I like that, and I think that adds interest to my design. So I'm actually going to emphasize the shield part. I don't have a lot of time to work this, but that I would indicate that. And they have kind of fake highlights on this shield, and I'm going to leave those because I find those kind of interesting too. So I'm going to break that line up there. Now when I go down to the words, the letters, I only want to give an impression. So maybe I'm only going to do the inside of the B, maybe a little on the outside, not the whole thing. And I like how this has a straight line across and cuts over. All right, and then maybe I'll do a little corner here. I'm looking to just give the impression of these letters. Now remember, when we are done with this, we're not going to have any pencil on here. All right, no pencil at all. So try to give me an impression that if I erase the pencil, I would still have a feeling of kind of what shape I'm talking about there, okay? And I'm going to go down again. I like this shield design, and I'm actually going to connect it to the first stripe, the top of it, okay? I like that zigzag, makes my eye go back and forth. Again, I'm going to leave that highlight for the shield. Okay. And I would work this too. I'm sort of running out of time here. But make this a really interesting shape connection. And you can try it out in the micron, and then if you want to make the line wider, go back to the Sharpie. Okay? Now I am not going to trace the stripes. I'm going to leave that white border on my can. I know this is going to be red in watercolor, white, and then red. I am not going to indicate that at all. So what do I do about this outside edge here? Now I know that my background, what I've chosen, is going to be dark up here, so I really don't need anything on the very edge of the can in this upper area, because it's dark against white. So I'm left with this white against white here. So this gets interesting, right? So maybe I'm going to take part of this shield and come down a little bit here. All right? And maybe I'm going to grab this area here and add a little line and maybe grab the bottom. Now remember, the colored stripes are going to be colored, so we'll be able to see those against the white background. Okay? So try it out. Try to give a large impression of this label. Use your micron, then you can go back in with your Sharpie to make the line a little bit heavier. But if I only see part of the letters, perfectly fine. Just give me the very largest impression you can make of it. And we're going to do this similar thing with our next project using a colored label. So this is good practice, only doing it in black and white, because then we're going to do it in color for our next project.